what's up?
Yeah. I pull up with a throwback dime. She say she's 25, she at least 29. But man, them hips on her, lips on her, finna let it rip on her, flip on her, then dip on her. This is for them classy chicks, them undercover nasty chicks, them trashy chicks. Ain't scared to flash me quick. Oh, look at that ass, she thick.
What up? It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we back for some more of that Ali Land Daily Boxing Talk, people. And today we talking Tyson versus Jones post-fight review, plus Jake Paul KOs Robinson. Alright, y'all, so it was an exciting card, man. I can't take nothing away from any of the fighters I got to see tonight. You know, they all put on a show, man. I'm really impressed with what I saw from Mike Tyson, man. But I want to get into Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson first, man. So, you know, when you watched what took place when Jake Paul took on Nate Robinson, you kind of saw a up and coming fighter versus a very inexperienced fighter, man. Nate Robinson has completely no boxing skill, and I hate to laugh, but it's like the coaches, you know, he's been training for a while, and it's almost like the coaches didn't teach him anything, like nothing at all. He was lunging forward. He couldn't sit down on a punch. He wasn't very patient. You can tell he was overly anxious to try to throw something big, and every time he tried to catch Jake Paul with something big, the reverse happened. Jake Paul was kind of tagging him, and it shows that levels to this game, and there are certain people who take it seriously and certain people who, not to say Nate Robinson didn't take it seriously, but experience is going to expose an unexperienced fighter 7 days out of the week. And Nate Robinson just got exposed by a guy who's a little more experienced than he is. I'm not overly impressed with Jake Paul's boxing abilities because he looked very amateurish himself. But you can't take anything away from the guy who delivered. You know, Jake Paul, if you put him in a ring with a fighter who's been doing this for several years, he's going to get knocked out, and he's going to get knocked out very badly. So if I was him, I would tread lightly until I developed a little more boxing ability. You know, he's only 23 years old, like he said, but he's got a lot to learn. He's got a lot to learn about the sport. That doesn't mean that he can't parlay this into a very lucrative boxing career, because we already know he's a multimillionaire. He's one of the biggest YouTube stars in the world, but can he turn that into a boxing career, and a credible boxing career, not just, you know, something that he uses to keep his fans engaged, but something that actually maybe has him winning a title at some point in the future. I'm not sure about that, but he gets an A for effort. I give him an A for effort. You know, pat Jake Paul on the back for even getting to the ring. You know, these guys who get into the ring, they're warriors, man. You know, because I've never stepped into the ring. You know, I do work out with boxing, but I don't know if I'm at the point where I would actually get into the ring, unless it's a sparring situation with gear, just to test my skills out to see where I'm at, if I would actually do what these guys are attempting to do. As far as the future holds for Nate Robinson, I'm not sure if he's going to actually pursue boxing after what we saw him go through. You know, maybe he's going to have a change of heart about in the sport, because it could have been a lot worse if Jake Paul was an actual professional fighter. It could have been a whole lot worse. And as far as Jake Paul, you know, once again, a round of applause to him for winning the fight. And he did it in stylish fashion and knocked him out. So hopefully he pursues his boxing career, but does it, you know, slowly and builds himself up. You know, hopefully that's what the path he chooses to take, because he could seriously get himself hurt playing around with this sport. Now let's get to the main event. You know, Tyson versus Jones. Now, this was an exhibition fight. But there are a few things I want to say, man, as far as Mike Tyson and Roy Jones. Number one, let's take our hat off to Roy Jones, because in all actuality, he lost. You know, we saw Mike Tyson be very aggressive, almost look like his old self, and it looked like he was actually holding back. You know, he didn't want to hurt Roy once he saw him breathing heavy and gasping for air. You could tell he didn't want to inflict any damage on Roy. He was just trying to land body shots, you know, and at certain points he could have landed some serious uppercuts on Roy, because Roy had his hands down and he was moving backwards and just gasping for air, man. You know, you could see, it's crazy because Tyson's the older, he's been off longer, but you could see the fatigue from round one on Roy Jones' face. You know, it was written all over his face. Tyson in round 8 still looked like he wanted to go. You know, Mike Tyson looked very good for a 54-year-old man. It's almost amazing for the man to have lost 100 pounds and to smoke as much as he does, and all the other antics that he's done in his life, that somehow he still has the ability at 54 years old to make a professional look amateurish. You know, he really made Roy look like an amateur. You know, he was, like I said, he almost looked like the old Tyson, the way he was circling around him and dipping and ducking. He almost looked like the 1990 version of Mike Tyson, and he really could have hurt Roy in this fight, man. And in a way, I was like, man, throw something big, Tyson. But then you, in the back of your mind, you're like, man, this is an exhibition. I don't want to see nobody get hurt. You know, it would have been devastating if Mike Tyson would have knocked Roy Jones out. And he very well could have knocked him out. And I think Jones knew it and Tyson knew it. And I just want to say, man, that it's unfair for them to have called it a draw, because Tyson really put in some work. I think Tyson really, not that he took it super seriously, but he deserved to have his hand raised in victory, because you can tell he's put in a lot more work than Roy Jones had. His body looked good, moving great, you know, almost like the old Tyson, man. What else can you say? Would I watch it again? I actually will watch it again, and I think this is a great concept for moving forward in the future. If they can get other fighters, older fighters, to put on these amateur fights and actually mix them with prize fights, like professional fights, if they can put together a card to where they can put a Pacquiao Spence next to a, let's say, Tyson and Lennox, you know, it's just hypothetical. We know they already fought, but, you know, this is something, you know, legendary fighters fighting each other, man. You know, even if it's exhibition, but if they can mix that together with some professional boxing, some championship boxing, it would be really amazing the way they put the cards together. I think this is going to have big success in the future. Mike Tyson has his own league, Legends League, so definitely will be following that from here on out. Let me know what y'all think about Jake Paul versus Nate Robinson. Also, let me know what y'all think about Tyson versus Jones down in the comment section, man. Who you think won that fight? Because I think Tyson won. Hit that like button for me, man. As always, man, believe in yourself, follow your dreams. Your dreams will come true. Tell your dog, tell your mama, tell your auntie, your uncle about Ali Land Boxing Talk and Cardinal Red. Trying to grow the platform as big as I can get it, and with your help, we can get there, man. It's your boy Cardinal Red, and we are out of here.
Niggas know what's up. I pull up with a throwback dime. She say she's 25, she at least 29. But man, them hips on her, lips on her, finna let it rip on her, flip on her, then dip on her. This is for them classy chicks, them undercover nasty chicks, them trashy chicks. Ain't scared to flash me quick. Oh, look at that ass, she thick.